Welcome back after the break. Joey Scott was an even sadder case than Dorothy Witters. Decker and Milligan stood in the doorway with Palmer. Scott was only 10 years old, but his short life was nearing its end. Eschewing patient privacy law, Palmer, who had escorted them here, had said in response to their blank looks, "Leukemia, the untreatable kind." Milligan said, "But why would Berkshire have to visit him? Don't his parents come?" Palmer bristled. He was in the process of being adopted out of foster care. When he got sick, his adopted parents pulled out. I guess they wanted a healthy model, she added in disgust. And it's not like they couldn't afford it, and visited him at least twice a week. She was really all Joey had. Then she turned her face and left. Then she turned and left, her face full of despair. Decker looked down at the little body in the bed, and his thoughts wandered back to the daughter he once had. Molly had been murdered before her 10th birthday. Decker had found her and his wife's bodies at their old home, and because of his hyperthymesia, he would always remember every detail of this tragedy like it had just occurred that second. There could be nothing that ever happened to Decker that could be more horrible and depressing than finding his family murdered. But seeing this came close. He sat down next to the boy, who slowly opened his eyes. Ivy and monitoring lines ran all over his withered frame. With a quick glance at Milligan, Deckard said, "Hello, Joey. I am Amos. This is my friend Todd." Joey raised the hand and made a little wave. "I understand your friend Anne was in today." Joey nodded. "Did you have a good talk?" "She read to me," Joey said in a small voice. "A book?" He nodded. "Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. It's on the shelf over there. She said she'd be back tomorrow to finish it." Decker reached over and snagged the book, flipping through some pages until he came to the bookmark about 10 pages from the end. He glanced at Milligan before looking back at Joey. "That's great. Is that all she did? Read?" Joey shook his head. "We talked some." "What about? Are you friends with Anne?" Deckard said, "I just saw her this morning. She is the reason we came to see you. She wanted us to meet her friends here." "Oh, okay," Milligan said. "How long have you been here, Joey?" Joey blinked at him. "I don't know." Milligan took a step back and put a hand against the wall. He looked helplessly at Decker. Decker said, "Do you remember what you talked about with Anne? Maybe things about the book?" "She asked me if I saw the sun come up." Decker looked to the large window which faced east. He slowly looked back at Joey. "Did you?" Joey nodded. "It was nice. I used to get up early and watch the sunrise when I was a kid," said Decker, drawing a surprised look from Milligan. "I grew up in Ohio, so the sun got to us faster than it does here." Let's take a short break. Welcome back after the break. On the nightstand next to the bed was a framed photo. Decker picked it up. It was a picture of Peyton Manning. You like Manning? Joey nodded. I used to watch football a lot and I played before I got sick. I played too. Dewey ran his gaze over Decker's huge physique. You look like a football player. I might have grown up to be big like you. Milligan rubbed his eyes. Regaining his composure, he said, Joey, Decker here played in the NFL for the Cleveland Browns. The little boy's eyes grew wide and a tiny smile crept across his features. You did? Decker nodded. My career was short and not necessarily sweet. He put the photo back. Before that, I was an Ohio State Buckeye. Some of the best years of my life. Wow, said Dewey. Do you know Peyton Manning? No, but he was one of the greatest. First Ballet Hall of Famer. He sat back. Did you talk with Anne about anything else? Welcome back. The smile faded. Not really. Did she tell you where she was going after she left here? Joey shook his head. Decker rose, glanced at Milligan, and said, Thanks, Joey. You have been a big help. You are welcome. Milligan looked down at him and said, Hey, would it be okay if I came back and saw you again? Sure, maybe you can come with Anne. Milligan said, We'll see. He took a card from his pocket and put it on the nightstand next to the Peyton Manning photo. You need anything, have them give me a call on that number. Okay? Okay, thanks again. Can I shake your hand? Asked Joey eyeing Decker. I never met an NFL player before. Well, what kind of emotions would you have if you learned that India went in with two and a half debutants, Washington Sundar, Shardul Thakur, and Natarajan, individuals who by pseudo experts were thought who could not play quote unquote the red ball game. Well, the emotions for these individuals would be precious, and their friends and relatives would be beaming in joy when they came to know that their sons would be making their debut in a test match in Australia, even though they are the third or fourth preferred choice. That's an important word. Third, the backup to a backup. Individuals who were brought in as only backup bowlers because of the heavy traffic that was taken in by the teams due to the restricted traveling, and that one had to go through 2 weeks of quarantine before the players could come on the field. Therefore, the advantage of this bio bubble has worked in the favor of the teams, though getting injured is not the first thing on any player's mind. So if these players were to send text messages expressing their emotions, or were to receive text messages expressing their emotions, what sort of emotions would they use? Well, in the 21st century, thanks to the evolving messenger apps and text messages and knowledge of individuals how to increase the emotions as far as messages are concerned. One would not just say good luck, one would give a thumbs up sign. That is one form of emoticons. Though for me, emoticons are the most irrational thing that human beings use as far as expressing their emotions are concerned. But since individuals people move from expressing their emotions through their face, but if the face is not visible, we have the emoticons or the emojis as they are called. So to express our happiness or our disappointment or somewhere in between, we use this facility called emoticons. As Washington Sundar bowls, Labuschagne cuts straight to the fielder, and after 54.1 overs, Australia are 3 for 154. How would one express their emotions in this manner? Would it be a smiley face, a sad face, a crying face? If I was to send an emoticon to someone along with the scoreboard, what would I say? Am I happy? Am I sad? Or am somewhere in between? Well, I am not the one who uses emoticons to express something, because I think emoticons are what they are, digital, and most things digital are plastic, superficial. So for me, emoticons have no weight whatsoever. But for a majority, emoticons means a lot. If in a group text we write a message that I have secured 95% marks or I've got a job, what will happen is you will receive 100 messages in a thread using all these emojis. It will start with a thumbs up, it will go on to smiley face, the smiley face with the goggles, the smiley face with the lips out, and the various smiley faces. And if someone says, I won't be participating in this group, there would be sad faces. Or if someone sends a message, which is a sad message, the first message that would you would receive, the first emoji, which is a very important thing. If you cannot meet this person, and if this person needs to express their emotions, their intelligence, they're controlling their emotional intelligence. The first application they would use is as Matthew Wade flicks this ball and they come back for 2 runs. And this partnership reminds you of the Pujara partnership, as Wade, who was in a similar position in this match, who is in a similar position as he's fighting for his spot. Well, I don't understand what the term fighting for one's spot means, but let's go with it that a few players are fighting for their spots. A few players are only playing because the first choice players are injured. And then when it comes to injury, the injuries are mostly either hamstring, thighs, groin. They are external injuries, are injuries which shouldn't happen because of the fitness level required to play at the international level. So, despite the injuries and despite all the pity that is coming along with this injury, means the sad faces and the smiley faces coming together, the question will come, how are the Indian bowlers getting injured so often? Or the Indian athletes are getting injured so often compared to athletes from other countries when they are fit? Well, is it genetics? Is it fitness levels? Is it just the conditions from where you are from? Well, that's a debatable thing. Are they not fit enough? Don't they take care of themselves in terms of being fit or having a right amount of carbohydrates, proteins, everything? Do they take their fitness casually? Well, that's or because of their bowling action, or just a cliche that Indian athletes generally are not fit, with a sad face. But that's a controversial thing. We shall not debate it right now. Now, let's look at this line, a very interesting line. Scientists have discovered that when we look at a smiley face online, the same specific parts of the brain are activated as when we look at a real human face. Well, I disagree with this. If I look at a smiley face online, for me, the first question is that person faking it? Just because there is this requirement to put a smiley face on the text message or a group text, do we really have to take it seriously? Do we really have to show this? I have never used emojis or emoticons as far as the texts are concerned, because I don't think the emojis I use here are what I will use when I actually talk to that person face to face. As Thakur bowls Labuschagne cuts for a single towards deep point, Australia are 3 for 157. There, and this article further goes on to say that there are some big benefits to using emojis even on professional platforms. That is, there are a lot of professional and pseudo media platforms, though I don't really agree with that. I neither love emojis nor I hate emojis. I just don't use emojis or emoticons. But 9 out of 10 people use emojis to express the emotions which they cannot express to an actual human face. Or if we are angry at an actual human face to face, it may be taken as a negative thing. But if it's through the text messages or using any such pseudo media or professional platform, it may seem a little more real. But what is real and what is artificial is debatable, as Australia now are 3 for 160 after 55.4 overs, and this partnership is now looking dangerous. 73 with another bowler going down. Let's see what. There is no news of Saini. He is not injured. He's just gone off for a while. I don't want to go in that direction of saying he's injured because it's still not reported injured. He's gone off. It happens. They go off. They come back. Yes, they don't have too many backups because they are the backups, and the first rate bowlers, the individuals who should actually be playing, are not playing. So if Australia go on to score 500 runs in this match, at this point, they're going at 2.9 runs per over. But if Australia bat today, they bat tomorrow, then the emojis that will pour out on all these pseudo media platform will be all the crying emojis or the angry emojis, no heart emojis. But I won't be using any emojis. That's not my style of play. Let's take a small break. Continuing with the debate and the discussion around emojis, emojis will definitely make you stand and catch people's attention. And emojis make individuals or people look professional and generate confidence in the process of an individual's confidence. Well, I do not agree with that. I have never used emojis or even likes, because I think likes along with emojis are the most plastic and the superficial way to express our rational mind. There is nothing rational about using emojis. If I have to express something, I'll say very good, well done, but no emojis, even if it doesn't stand out, just because I do not express my happiness or sadness or something in between with the use of emojis or likes. It doesn't mean that I do not appreciate that person's effort. I just don't think using an emoji helps. I think using emojis just add to the ego of that person, and no one wants their ego inflated because it doesn't work in one's favor, in a person's favor. As Wade defends, batting well at 31 of 66, and now for the first time India's bowling may look exposed, as you will see in tomorrow's headline that Australia once again put themselves in a strong position as Wade defends. Though they are going at 2.5 runs per over, how many will they eventually get? Another 2 hours to go for that, but a long time to know if India have missed out a trick by not going with an extra spinner, because there was a clamor. I have been listening since morning about the pseudo experts clamor. They could have used Kuldeep as the over ends 57 gone, 3 for 163. Enough about emojis. Let me express what I think through this song. This is a song which everyone has heard, and let's have some fun without using the smiley emojis or the thumbs up emoticons or using likes to express what I'm thinking right now. And the song is "Who Let the Dogs Out?" Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who? Well, the party was nice. The party was pumping. Hey yo, and everybody having a ball. Hey yo, until the fellow started name calling, and the girls responded to the call. Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who? I see a little speedboat head up a new course. She really want to skip town. Go back, Gruffy, back, Scuffy. Get back, you flea-infested mongrel. Gonna tell myself, hey man, no get angry. Hey hippie, hey yo. To any girl calling them, hey, but they tell me, hey man, it's part of the party. You get a woman in front and a man behind. I heard a woman shout out, who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who? Say a doggy is nothing if it didn't have a bone. Oh, a doggy hold your bone. Oh, doggy hold it. A doggy is nothing if it didn't have a bone. Oh, doggy hold your bone. Oh, doggy hold it. Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who? I see a little speedboat heading up our course. Should really want to skip town. Get back, Gruffy, back, Scruffy, get back, you flea invested mongrel. Well, if I'm a dog, the party is on. I gotta get my groove cause my mind gone. Do you see the rays coming from my eye walking through the place? That Digiman is breaking it down. Me and my wife, white shorts, and I can't see color. Any color will do. I'll stick on you. That's why they call me Pitbull, because I'm here, because I'm the man of the land. When they see me, they say woo. Who let the dogs out? Who? Who? Who let the dogs out? Who? Who? Who let the dogs out? Who? As we move back to Australia at 3 for 167 uh, in 57 and a half overs. And of course, there would be a lot of crying emojis, sad smiley emojis because of the drops on this tour. Well, that is something to, for me, drop catches don't constitute any sad moments, but let's go with that for a while. As Australia, after 57.4 overs, are 168 for 3. Labuschagne on 83, dropped on 37 by Rahane, the top fielder right now, and a couple of missed chances as far as India is concerned. I think they have bowled well because, yes, Australia are batting well. This partnership is 80 runs as Wade plays straight to the fielder. Yes, this partnership does resemble the one which was there between Rahane and Pujara with Green, Payne, and then the semi all-rounders follow. One thought if you could get Smith, then you could get Wade. But Wade had decided that he won't be waded away easily. He'll stick around for a while. So, how many runs can Australia get? I think if, of course, the question is you get this batter out and you are in a good position. But India have, as it's been floating around for the past 3 to 4 hours, their second or third rate bowling. Yet Australia haven't gone away with the match. There is a partnership. Nobody is denying the partnership. It's an excellent partnership. India also have the batters. Australia have the same bowlers. Australian bowlers could tire. Australian bowlers could break down in this particular match. But the longer the Australian batters bat, the chance of this match going into a draw is even more. Will this be a criticism just like the last match where they allowed the likes of Smith and Labuskania to get away with the match? They don't have Jadeja, Ashwin. But then it's a good opportunity for someone like Washington Sundar. I would give a smiley face if I knew that he was the first rate guy. Yes, we compare for first class records, but I disagree with that at this point. I disagree with the first class record comparison. For me, the first class record is meaningless. If for me, as long as a batter can bat, whether it's 50 overs, 20 overs, 5 days, 6 days, 4 days, whatever it is, they're good enough for me. And the same is for the bowlers. If you can have a ball, if you are fit, whether you have bowled in first class or not, or you have taken wickets or not, those records are meaningless as Labuschagne cuts away with the fielder chasing, and Australia's score now moves on to 3 for 172. This ends this morning's episode number 313 on the 15th of Jan 2021. I will see you on Monday on the 18th of January. Till then, goodbye and good night.